Swamiji.
Oh, namaskar. Oh.
Uh, Listening to you, it has opened new chapter in my life. And many of your examples which came repeatedly also, like clay and pot, and some other things which have not come repeatedly, like I'm seeing a picture of a dark room with the opening with a bucket of water. So all those things are, and your stories also we have greatly relation. Not only that, we share with other people also. And thank you very much. And uh, I have 2-3 questions. I'll just indicate the questions. Time permitting, you can answer whichever is suitable.
You can ask one by one. Ask
Yes,
one by
sir.
one.
Yes, sir. In the sloks 11, Vairodha liyate mana jala shaktivadrodha sadhana. In this and 14 also, pranabandhana lena manasam. Pranayama is said to be very, very important in this matter. I am a practitioner of Bhagavad Gita, pranayama yoga also. I had seen pranayama as a health measure only, even though I do Gayatri Japam every day, where I do the pranayama. And I found some astounding benefit out of that. But I never thought pranayama is so important for this knowing yourself. Can you tell more about it and give some guidelines, please?
Yes. If you look at the verse 10, it says, Hrusthale manasvasthada. Manasvasthada, the abidance of the mind in Hrit means Atma. Abiding of the mind in the self, that is the knowledge of the self, that is the goal that we are seeking, that the mind abides in the self. Mind has a habit of thinking naturally, and usually it thinks of many things of the world also, various objects and things it will think of. So what we want is that this mind is slowly, progressively withdrawn from its preoccupation with the objects of the world, is made inward looking, ultimately so inward looking that it just remains itself. Understand that the essential nature of mind also is self or consciousness. Therefore, the form of the mind, which is what we call thought, like this, one of those examples, like this ornament, like a bangle, is the form, and for the bangle to abide in its nature, which is gold. So mind is made up of the various thoughts. Each thought is like an ornament. And just as gold is the material of which ornament is made, so also consciousness or Atma is the material of which the mind is made, of which the thoughts are made. So when we say that this bangle abides in gold, which means that the bangle attains its natural state because gold is the nature. So also the mind abiding in the self, abiding in consciousness, the bangle becoming gold, the mind becoming consciousness, meaning giving up its form and assuming its essential nature. This is called Hrusthale manasvasthata, manasvasthata. The abidance of mana, the mind, Hrusthale in the place of Hrut or the Atma, mind abiding in self, mind becoming the self, mind becoming consciousness. Now, this is innermost state of the mind. Therefore, the mind requires to be progressively withdrawn from its external activities and then withdrawn. It's called concentration of the mind. And the culmination of the concentration is that the mind abides in the self. It's the culmination. For this we require help sometimes, very often. Therefore here Ramana Maharshi prescribes what is traditionally taught in the Patanjali Yoga is how to slowly either call it control the mind or withdraw the mind and make it most inward looking. And for that, often you need help. So, pranayama or the breath control is prescribed in the Yoga Shastra also. And same Yoga Shastra is very briefly described here by Ramana Maharshi, just in 4 verses. And very beautifully described how can prana or the breath become the means of controlling the mind, the 2 different things. But Ramana Maharshi says, no, they are not 2 different things. They are the 2 branches of the same energy called Prakriti, Maya, primordial energy. One branch is prana, the breath, other branch is mind, the chittam. So just as in a tree where the 2 branches emerge from the same source, by controlling one branch, you also control the other branch. You lower one branch, other branch also gets lower. So prana is more gross, mind is more subtle. Much more difficult to control mind, relatively easy to control the prana or the breathing. Therefore, the pranayama, so vayu rodhanam, it is called rodhanam, ayama, pranayama, is slowly and slowly controlling the breath, meaning that slowly reducing the movement of the breath and gaining such a control over the breath that ultimately the breath also stops. And because mind also is connected with breathing, therefore, mind also slowly stops. When the mind stops, it loses its form and it becomes abiding consciousness. So, Vayu Lina Manasam, by Vayu by Rodhanam, controlling, restricting, restraining, stopping the Vayu, the breath, the mind also stops. And thus, mind becomes Linam. It merges into its own self, into consciousness. But then, again, Ramana Maharshi says that the mind simply merging is not enough. So what is meant by merging of mind is a state similar to deep sleep state, where also the mind merges, except that in deep sleep state, mind merges in ignorance. We don't want that. In this practice, the mind merges in the sattva, in the light, in awareness. So you remain aware when the mind has merged. The state when the mind is completely merged into its source, awareness, is called laya. So laya vinashane ubhairodhane. So laya is one way of stopping the mind. But that is not enough. That's an experience. Vinashanam, use that experience. Pranabandhana leenamanasam ekachintana nasame tadaha. The mind that has been now stopped or merged by stopping the prana. In that mind, ekachintanam, soham, that I am. Think about that. So contemplate upon soham. Who am I? I am that. I am consciousness. I am Brahman. So that is when this yogi becomes enlightened that I am Brahman. So a merged mind is one mind. This is enlightened mind. Enlightenment comes with the help of the teaching of the Guru, who says, Tattvamasi, you are that. Your response is, Soham, I am that. So the seeing of this fact that I am that, I am consciousness, I am Brahman, then ignorance goes completely, this is called the destruction of the mind, technically speaking. Mano nasha. Laya vinashane ubhayarodhane. Merger of the mind is one kind of restraint. Destruction of mind is another kind of restraint. Lagatam punar bhavati no mritam. Mind which is merged will again arise. Mind which is destroyed, meaning enlightened, will not arise into ignorance anymore. And so, nashtamana, so utkrishta yogina, the yogi whose mind is thus completely, this mano nasa means destruction of mind, is a technical term. It should not mean destruction of mind as a faculty that you become mindless. It means destruction of ignorance in the mind. We have enlightened mind. It is no more a problem mind. So mind is the basic problem for people. So the enlightened mind now is your friend completely. So that yogi now abide in his own self. Krityamastikam, does anything remain to be done? Nothing remains to be done. So that is how pranayama or breath control is a technique used to control the mind, stopping the breath, stopping the mind. And mind that is stopped, now you ask, who am I? Who are you? Soham, I am that. See that fact? So this is how the yoga, the method is described there in 4 verses by Ramana Maharshi. So pranayama is not only for health. It is a spiritual practice also. And it's an exalted practice that it leads the aspirant to the knowledge, coupled with the teaching of the teacher. Understand? But in order for mind or me to see that I am Brahman, I need that kind of mind which is called Leenam. That is merged, no more a problem. In that mind I see that I am Brahman with the help of the teaching. It's not simply yoga or merger. Yoga is merger. But Nasa is the enlightenment, which requires the teaching, I am that.
Thank you.